Dear student, good morning all. Dear student, I have completed this part and today I will start the chapter from here. He licked tiger grandfather's hand and only sprang away when leopard in the next case snared at him. Means that tiger licked the grandfather's hand and when the next page there was a leopard are there that snared at him. The tiger went to the inner part of the cage. Grandfather shooed the leopard away and the tiger turned to back his hand. And at the same time, when a grandfather looked at that leopard, the leopard went away from that place. Then the tiger returned to the cage and licking his hands. But every now and then the leopard would rush at the bar. But after few moments, that leopard rushed into the bar of that cage, and he would slink back to his corner. And when that leopard went to the bar of the cage, at the same time the tiger went back to the corner of his cage. A number of people have gathered to watch the reunion when a keeper pushed his way through the crowd and asked the grandfather what he was doing. When the grandfather and the tiger are reunion at the same time, the many people gathered around him. At the same time, a keeper saw grandfather. Then he went at the same place and he told to the grandfather that what he was doing. I am talking to Timothy, said grandfather. Then grandfather replied that I am talking to the Timothy. Weren't you here when I gave him to the Jew 6 months ago? And at the same time, grandfather asked to the keeper that where you are when I left Timothy in the Jew 6 months ago. और तुरंत ग्रैंडफादर ने पूछा उस कीपर से कि तुम उस समय कहाँ थे जब टिमोथी को मैं जू में छोड़ने के लिए आया था. I haven't been here very long, said the surprised keeper. At the same time, the keeper became in a surprised manner and he told to the grandfather that he hadn't been there for the long time. और उसी समय उस कृपर ने बोला कि मैं यहाँ पे ज़्यादा दिनों से नहीं हूँ. प्लीज़ कंटिन्यू योर कन्वर्सेशन. एंड एट द सेम टाइम दैट कीपर सेड टू द ग्रैंडफादर दैट प्लीज़ कंटिन्यू योर कन्वर्सेशन. बट आई हैव नेवर बीन एबल टू टच हिम माई सेल्फ. एट द सेम टाइम दैट कीपर टोल्ड टू द ग्रैंडफादर दैट आई एम नॉट एबल टू टच that tiger. He is always very bad tempered. And that keeper also told to the grandfather that that tiger is a very bad tempered. और वह कीपर जो है ग्रैंडफादर को बताया कि वह टाइगर जो है बहुत बैड टेम्पर्ड का है, मतलब बहुत जल्दी गुस्सा करने वाला है. Why don't you put him somewhere else? Suggested grandfather. At the same time, grandfather advised to the keeper that why do you not shift him another cage? That leopard kept frightening him. Means the leopard that was next to the and that cage, that leopard frightening the tiger very much. I will go and see the superintendent about it. And at the same time, grandfather told to the keeper that I will go to the superintendent of the zoo and make a complaint about it. और दादाजी ने कहा कि मैं जो है सुपरिटेंडेंट के पास जाऊंगा और इसकी कंप्लेन करूंगा. ओके स्टूडेंट, नेक्स्ट पेज. Grandfather went to search of the superintendent of the zoo. At the same time, grandfather went to search of the superintendent of the zoo. और grandfather जो है उस superintendent थे जो जू के, उसको देखने के लिए चले गए. डियर स्टूडेंट, सुपरिटेंडेंट जो है मेन अथॉरिटी होता है जू का. बट फाउंड दैट he had gone home early, and when grandfather went there, he found that the superintendent of the zoo have went home early. And so after wandering about the zoo for a little while, he returned to Timothy case to say goodbye. And at the same time, when the grandfather not meet to the superintendent, he went back to say goodbye to Timothy. और सुपरिटेंडेंट से जब मुलाकात नहीं हुई तो ग्रैंडफादर वापस आ गए टिमोथी को गुड बाय कहने के लिए. इट वॉज द बिगनिंग टू गेट डार्क एंड इट वॉज टाइम टू गेटिंग डार्क. और वह समय जो है अब अंधेरा हो रहा था. ही हैड बीन stroking and slapping Timothy for about 5 minutes, and at the same time grandfather stroking and slapping Timothy about 5 minutes. When he found the another keeper observing him with some alarm, at the same time the another keeper saw grandfather to slapping that tiger. Grandfather recognized him as the keeper who had been there when Timothy had first came to the zoo. And at the same time, grandfather recognized that keeper because that was the keeper was there when grandfather left Timothy to the zoo before 6 months. वह कीपर जो है उसमें मौजूद था जब ग्रैंडफादर जो है टिमोथी को 6 महीने पहले छोड़ने के लिए आए थे. यू रिमेंबर मी, सेड ग्रैंडफादर. व्हेन ग्रैंडफादर सा दैट कीपर ही आस्क्ड टू द कीपर दैट यू रिमेंबर मी, क्या तुम मुझे जानते हो? नाउ व्हाई डोंट यू ट्रांसफर टिमोथी टू द अनदर केस? And at the same time, grandfather asked to the keeper that why do you not shift Timothy to the another case, away from stupid leopard? And that leopard is the very stupid because you should shift Timothy to the another case. But sir, stammered the keeper, and at the same time the keeper said in a surprised manner, but sir. तब तक वो जो कीपर था सरप्राइज होकर के बोला, लेकिन सर, इट इज़ नॉट योर टाइगर. एंड द कीपर टोल्ड टू द ग्रैंडफादर दैट इट इज़ नॉट योर टाइगर. और उसी समय जो है कीपर बोला कि यह जो टाइगर है वो आपका नहीं है. आई नो सेड ग्रैंडफादर. एंड at the same time, grandfather told to the keeper that I know very well, I know. I realize he is no longer mine. And at the same time, grandfather said that that tiger is no longer mine. कि वह जो टाइगर है वो मेरा नहीं है. But you might at least take a suggestion or two from me. But at least I know this is not my tiger at this time. But you should take my suggestion. तब दादाजी ने कहा, हाँ मुझे मालूम है कि यह टाइगर अब मेरा नहीं है. मुझे ये बात अच्छी तरह मालूम है. I remember your tiger very well, said the keeper. And at the same time, the keeper said that I know that your tiger is very well. उसी समय कीपर बोलता है कि मुझे मालूम है कि जो आपका टाइगर था वो बहुत ही अच्छा था. He died 2 months ago and your tiger have died 2 months ago. और जो आपका टाइगर था वो 2 महीने पहले ही उसकी डेथ हो गई. Died, exclaimed grandfather. At the same time, the grandfather make a surprised manner and he said, died. और उसी समय दादाजी ने बोला कि क्या मेरा टाइगर मर गया? Yes sir, of pneumonia. And the keeper said to that grandfather that your tiger have died from pneumonia. Pneumonia is a kind of disease that animals or human beings are suffering. This tiger was trapped in hills only last month, and that keeper told to the grandfather that this tiger have trapped in the hills last month. और उसने बताया कीपर ने कि यह जो टाइगर है इसको पिछले महीने जो है पहाड़ी पे पकड़ा गया था. एंड ही इज़ वेरी डेंजरस. एंड कीपर ऑल्सो टोल्ड टू ग्रैंडफादर दैट दैट टाइगर इज़ वेरी डेंजरस. और ग्रैंडफादर ने दादाजी को बताया कि वह जो टाइगर है बहुत ही खतरनाक है. ग्रैंडफादर कुड थिंक ऑफ नथिंग टू से. At the same time, grandfather haven't think and it was nothing to say about. अब grandfather के पास जो है बोलने के लिए कुछ भी नहीं था. The tiger was still licking his arm and that tiger was still licking his arm and increasing relish. And that tiger felt very comfortable. Grandfather took what seemed to him an ease of withdraw his hand from his cage. And at the same time, when grandfather realized that it is not my tiger, then he withdraw his hand quickly from that cage. और जैसे ही दादाजी को पता चला कि यह टाइगर जो है मेरा नहीं है तो वो तुरंत अपने हाथ को पिंजरे से बाहर निकाल लिए. With his face near the tiger's, he mumbled, "Good night, Timothy." And at the same time, grandfather told that tiger, "Good night, Timothy." And giving the keeper a scornful look, walked briskly out of the room. And he also saw that keeper and he walked out of the zoo. It is Ruskin Bond is the writer of this lesson. Dear student, I hope this story you have understand very well, and I have also sent the question answer and exercise of this lesson in before, and I hope you have written it. And next video I make the video of this book last chapter, and that is An Alien Hand. Okay student, thanks, goodbye, take care.